The world keeps moving because it has no choice. People wake up, follow routines, scroll endlessly, argue about politics they don't control, complain about prices they can't escape, and plan futures that quietly no longer belong to them. Everything feels normal because normal is the final defense mechanism of a system that cannot survive awareness. If people truly understood what sits beneath their daily lives, the fear would be uncontrollable, so the truth stays buried, wrapped in technical language, hidden behind charts, disguised by acronyms designed to sound boring enough to ignore. $400 trillion, a number so large the human mind rejects it, because accepting it would mean accepting that the future has already been spent. This is not money resting in vaults. It is not wealth waiting to be shared. It is obligation, promise, debt layered on debt, leverage stacked on leverage, bets placed on top of bets, all built on one fragile assumption that tomorrow must always be larger than today. The global financial system no longer asks whether growth will happen. It assumes it must. And when reality hesitates, when growth slows, when cracks appear, the system does not adapt. It panics. Modern finance perfected one skill better than any civilization before it: delaying consequences. Losses are never truly taken. They are rolled forward. Bad decisions are not punished. They are absorbed. Risk is not removed. It is transferred, renamed, hidden, and sold as safety. Every time something should fail, it is rescued. Every time pain should teach a lesson, it is softened. And with each rescue, the system becomes weaker, more fragile, more dependent on the next intervention. The $400 trillion time bomb exists because honesty is not rewarded. Politicians are elected on comfort, not truth. Markets rise on belief, not reality. Institutions survive on confidence, not solvency. The moment someone admits the scale of the problem, trust evaporates. And trust is the only thing holding this structure together. So silence becomes policy. Denial becomes strategy. Optimism becomes obligation. Derivatives were sold as protection, insurance against risk, a smarter, safer financial world. What they became instead was a machine that multiplied exposure beyond human comprehension. A derivative is not an asset. It produces nothing. It depends on something else continuing to work. And when trillions of these dependencies are chained together, failure stops being isolated. It becomes contagious. One crack travels instantly through the entire structure. Banks owe banks. Banks owe funds. Funds owe insurers. Insurers are guaranteed by governments. Governments are backstopped by central banks. Central banks print money that weakens currencies. Weakened currencies raise prices. Higher prices force citizens to borrow more just to survive. It is a closed loop of dependence. No one can step away without pulling the entire system down with them, so everyone stays afraid, silent. This is why modern crashes never arrive honestly. They don't look like collapse. They look like stimulus. They look like temporary measures. They look like emergency liquidity. The language is calm because panic is fatal. When markets tremble, central banks flood the system with money, not to fix the disease, but to suppress the symptoms. The illness grows quietly while the fever is treated. Inflation is not an accident. It is a policy choice. When debts become unpayable, the value of money is sacrificed to preserve the illusion of solvency. Prices rise, savings decay. Wages lag behind reality. People feel poorer every year, but struggle to explain why. They blame corporations. They blame politicians. They blame each other. Rarely do they blame the system itself, because the system is abstract, complex, and intentionally distant. The real tragedy is not that the bomb exists. The tragedy is that ordinary people are standing closest to it. Pension funds depend on returns that require endless growth. Insurance companies rely on stability that no longer exists. Governments promise benefits funded by futures that were sold decades ago. Every generation is borrowing from the next, and the next has no voice yet to object. History has seen this pattern repeatedly. When debt grows faster than reality, collapse is not a matter of opinion. It is mathematics. Empires do not fall from invasion. They fall from imbalance. You cannot compound obligations forever in a finite world. You cannot promise infinity with limited resources. You cannot build stability on leverage without eventually paying the price. The most dangerous belief in the modern world is that someone is in control, that experts have a plan, that institutions understand what they are doing. In truth, the system is running on momentum and fear. Fear of stopping. Fear of being honest. Fear of being the one blamed for pulling the plug on something that was already broken. Every year the clock ticks louder. More debt. More derivatives. More guarantees. More promises. And fewer real solutions. Because real solutions are painful. They require losses. They require truth. They require admitting that the world cannot return to what it was. The $400 trillion time bomb will not explode like a movie. There will be no single day, no single headline, no single villain. It will unravel slowly, then suddenly. Confidence will weaken. Liquidity will dry up. Trust will vanish. And once trust is gone, no amount of money printing can buy it back. When that moment arrives, people will ask how no one saw it coming. The answer will be simple and terrifying. We saw it. We understood it. We just chose not to look, because the truth was too large, too uncomfortable, and too disruptive to accept. And the clock never stopped ticking.